Hello again. Welcome to another episode of the Uranium Market Minute. Today is Wednesday, September 14th, and this is episode number 182. My name is Justin Huhn, and I'm your host. I'm the founder and publisher of the Uranium Insider Pro Newsletter, the only investing newsletter that focuses solely on uranium, finds the best risk-reward opportunities in the space, and publishes on a regular monthly basis. As always, nothing that you see or hear in this podcast is intended to be investing advice. I'm not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please always do your own due diligence when it comes to investing and always take responsibility for your own choices. All right, this is going to be a relatively quick episode today as I'm in a bit of a time crunch. Starting off in the daily scoreboard here, the spot price of uranium down about 75 cents from yesterday. It's definitely slipping down here with SPUT out of the market with the discount steepening yesterday. Actually steepened to a little over 6% discount to NAV, although the trust traded up nicely today with uranium down, actually probably back to somewhere around a 2% discount to NAV. So hanging in there. The sector continues to do quite well, all things considered. Yesterday, SPUT purchased no additional pounds, nor did they raise cash, as of course they were at a discount to NAV, sitting on 17 million in their treasury. Turning to the ETFs, URA or URNM, neither reported any changes in outstanding shares. Yesterday, the sector was lower, but in my opinion, as I stated yesterday, we really held in there quite well, considering the huge downdraft that we saw in the broad market. And today actually outperformed the broad market yet again. And on that note, why don't we take a look at the charts? Starting off with URA, up 1.84% on the day, with an S&P that is up 0.34% on the day. S&P actually rallied in the morning, sold off decently at the end of the day, but the uranium names held in there quite well. Still kind of consolidating in this range here, moving up decently, however, not on huge volume here. So we are continuing to see declining volume on the back end over this last week or so, even on these days of outperformance. Not really sure what we're looking at here. It sort of is looking, again, like a little bit of a rising wedge. If we trade back down a bit, we could be printing some kind of flag. But either way, I would like to see this chop sideways amidst a weak broad market at the very least, and we are definitely accomplishing that here. URNM relative to the spot price of uranium did pretty well today, up over 3% on the day on a relative basis. Of course, that is with spot falling a bit. But either way, this is also continuing to consolidate and move slightly up. We've got now the 20-day crossing back up and over that falling 200-day moving average, which is trying to flatten out here, setting up potentially for a nice bullish move to the upside. When we get through this consolidation, we see a resumption of an uptrend in the spot price, which I do believe is coming. Cameco charging ahead, very, very strong. In fact, today is the highest daily close since April. Absolutely nothing bearish about that. URA relative to the S&P, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Up 1.5% on the day on a relative basis. I'm happy to see this continue to move up and actually even move sideways here on a weak broad market is something I absolutely welcome. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust trading up almost 3% on the day, like I mentioned, closing at a 6% discount to NAV. Yesterday, spot price falling and the trust trading up. We were probably back around that 2-ish% after trading and trading down, breaking down below this rising wedge, as I did forecast last week. In fact, did happen, found support just above the 20-day moving average, and we'll see if we can continue to trade at a smaller discount to NAV, if not getting back to a premium so they can raise some more cash. I don't think we're very far away from that happening. All right, just going to make kind of a comment today in the mailbag section. So there was a quote from Xi Jinping today, who is visiting Kazakhstan at the moment. He stated, quote, "No matter how the international situation changes, we will continue to resolutely support Kazakhstan in protecting its independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity." Seems like pretty strong words coming from Xi Jinping of China. Now, there's definitely some speculation about this visit when it comes to uranium. I think that there's actually bigger fish to fry in terms of Kazakhstan, China's Belt and Road Initiative, than it is uranium, although I do think uranium is on the table for discussion. Kazakhstan in particular is certainly in a tricky position with that westerly route that we have mentioned and that they have mentioned that Askar spoke about yesterday. They have to go through the Caspian and the Black Sea, and to get from the Caspian to the Black, they have some pretty miserable options of going west. They can go through the Ukraine, which is obviously not going to happen for for reasons that should be self-evident. They have the option of potentially going through Azerbaijan, which is not happening either. And there's currently a conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. So definitely a tricky situation for them there. And if they go more southward, they have to go through Iran and Iraq. That's also probably not an ideal situation for them. So in my opinion, Kazakhstan is likely looking to ship through China. This is not necessarily with swaps. So China holds inventory in a number of locations around the world. So in theory, Kazakhstan could ship pounds to China and China could swap with the buyer. I don't think that's an ideal situation for Kazakhstan. I think they would like to produce those pounds and ship them directly to the buyer. And in my opinion, is likely on the table for discussion between China and Kazakhstan right now in securing that shipping route going east through China, avoiding both the port of St. Petersburg and a westerly route going through the Caspian and the Black Sea. So that looks like that. How could I say that alliance, let's say, is definitely being forged and solidified right now with Xi visiting Kazakhstan. Very interesting. All right, I'm going to end that there. Like I said, going to be a short episode today. Very encouraging to see that action happening there. If you are a member, you did not receive that bulletin yesterday, go ahead and shoot us an email about the members webinar on Monday. It's really important that you either attend this or are aware of this webinar and are able to watch the replay. I think there's going to be some very, very crucial information shared in this webinar going forward that you're going to want to be able to hear going into the fourth quarter of this year. There's so many moving parts, and this is going to be very enlightening. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. Cheers.